like everything in SCADA is virtual. Like it's programming, it's communications, it's protocols. So everything kind of has to be an analogy, basically. Like if you're building a neighborhood, the first thing you have to do is lay out the streets and addresses. And then after that, you can actually build like buildings and houses. So that's analogous to building a network with like network switches, firewalls, routers, all of that stuff. Then there's more devices on that to program of how they communicate with each other on top of that network. And that is like you're building a house in the neighborhood. Like your streets are laid out, your address is there, but then the way you can build a house or a building within a neighborhood is, there's just endless possibilities of how you do that. And that's where my expertise from my previous job would come over here, is how to design those different devices and how they're communicating with each other.
All right, greetings and welcome. We're back again. Sounds of Solar Podcast, Season 5, Episode 3. We've got a great show today. We've got a special guest, one of my personal favorites, Jason Berger, the SCADA Manager here at EVS.
Thank you.
Before we get too far into what it is you do here, which actually none of us know.
Yes, that is key.
It's a mystery.
Nobody
That's
knows.
the reason you're
We're trying
here.
to keep it that way.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it that way. What is it exactly that you do here? Are you on calls, actually? Do you?
Not today.
Okay, yeah. Today's a podcast day. They're on this call.
Yes. Exactly.
So normally we just vibe. Jason, I'm just going to turn it to you right away. I know you did a big trip to Colombia recently.
Yes.
How was that?
Awesome. It was my wife and I's 10-year anniversary, so
Nice.
decided to go somewhere special. I have a friend, or actually an old coworker in Colombia, so went and visited him for a week. Drove around the mountains, went to the beach. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Spanish
place.
skills all coming back to you?
Yeah, it took like 3 days, but yes, then they finally came back. One of my first projects with my old company was in Colombia, so that's where I like learned all my Spanish and stuff. But it took a little while to come back.
Yeah.
It's rusty though; it just disappears after like I don't know. You don't use it for a couple years, and it's just like it's gone. Don't remember it anymore.
So you lived there before, or just the
No,
project?
just for a project. I was going there like
Okay.
I don't know, every couple months or so.
Yeah.
For a couple years.
Well, how many times did you go there total? Like 10?
It was
you
more than 10. I think it was
More than
14
10?
or 15, yeah.
Dang.
Did you intentionally do something so you can go back to to Colombia every time?
Well, I screwed that thing up again. I better go back.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah, software companies love to do
I
that.
know.
Yep.
Please upgrade. It doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
work. We'll be there.
So
No.
I'm actually finally taking a trip coming up. Not going to Colombia for 10 days, which I am jealous of, but I am going to Asheville, North Carolina. Finally,
Nice.
a due
Very
trip.
close to Colombia.
Yeah, and we have two
Same
employees, I think,
Nick
Natasha and Joe.
Okay.
Is there one more?
In North Carolina, it's Nick is there and Marcano. They're both
Yeah.
in.
There, Mike is in the Raleigh-Durham area,
Correct. Yeah.
and Nick Presti is
He's close to Charlotte.
close to Charlotte. So
Yeah.
he's closer to Asheville. But Natasha and Joe live in Asheville. Hoping to see them. We'll see. But one cool thing about Asheville that I'm looking forward to, not just the mountain experience, but the Biltmore is there. You guys know what the Biltmore estate is?
No.
It's the largest. Jordan is shaking her head yes. She's jealous. She wants to go with. The Biltmore is the largest private residence in the country. It was built by the Vanderbilts back in, well, whenever it was. I need to go on the tour to find this out.
Yeah.
But you can go on this whole tour, and it's I think they were involved in the early railroad expansion, etc. Filthy rich.
So what is it? Like just
It's a giant mansion and like the gardens and the winery,
the polo grounds, all
yeah.
of that, yeah.
So
You can compare it against the Portland one.
Yeah, I think this one's a way more.
bigger?
Oh, it's like 50 times that place.
Yeah.
But
What was it? Pittock Mansion? If
yeah,
you
the
remember?
Pittock
Pittock, yeah.
Mansion.
Yeah.
Have you been there too?
Yeah, I've been there.
Well,
The Pittock, yeah.
have you been there, Jason?
No.
Have you been to Portland?
Yes, a while ago.
Yeah.
But no mansion visits, just I don't know, just the
Rookie.
roses.
Just the roses.
That was it.
All right. Yeah. What about you guys? Traveling coming up? Any exciting trips? Things of note?
I've got my Canada trip, and then I have a California trip in December. So no agenda, just go.
What's the
meet
Canada trip? What is it? What?
up. I briefly spoke about like going and meeting my my nephew like in Canada. So that's pretty much
Nice.
it. So
Okay. Well, what's it? Yeah.
so they're in Mississauga. It's close to Toronto, like about 30, 40
okay.
minutes away. So I was going to drive. It would have been a cool thing, but I think the flight's like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I was like,
Yeah, that's
"Eh,
not
it's
as
not,
fun,
it's not, it's not worth it."
Yeah.
Alone. Yeah.
So
Well, but what about you, Wallen? Traveling?
I have so many plans, but I think the one that I'm excited for right now is that me and my college friends, we're linking up in LA and then driving all the way to Vegas.
ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Where are you linking up at?
LA.
Oh, in LA, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Not
to drive.
bad, right?
It's like
and that's the
6
point. We
hours.
could fly straight to Vegas, but we're like, what makes it
See the
better?
scenery.
Let's drive.
Spend some time in the
together,
car.
Like, yeah.
Is it like 4
And
of you?
catch up, yeah. I think it's 5. One is flaky. So
Mhm.
we'll see.
We'll see.
We got a spot for him though.
We got a spot in the middle. He's got the middle seat.
No, but it's good you're doing it that way, because otherwise, if you do
Before
Vegas and then
maybe
LA, you probably run out of money at one point.
Yeah, that's
you
good.
know,
Yeah,
spend all your
smart.
money
Right.
in Vegas.
And it's just that catch up, It's
Yeah.
like you create that buffer
Yeah.
before we get to Vegas.
Yeah. Jason, you and I did a trip together. We went to Austin, MotoGP. I got to
Yes,
mention
I was there.
MotoGP at every podcast.
Oh, that's how
I did in the
smart.
last, probably back in the day, at least I try to educate people on MotoGP.
good.
Are we going back this year?
Like this next year?
Yeah.
Is it in Austin again?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Wait,
I'll think about it.
those
I
who
can be
don't
that
know.
flaky guy you're talking about.
You can't play.
Maybe.
You can't play.
Was it? Maybe.
Hey, you're on podcast. You can
Yeah.
play. We got record.
Okay, I'm in. Got it.
All right, so Jason, we are here today to figure out what it is you do here, which,
Yes.
as I said earlier, none of us know.
Yeah, so like today's the day the mystery is gone. So hello, I'm Jason Berger. I'm the SCADA Manager here at EVS. Been here just over a year, but came from the software SCADA industry for the last 12 or 13-ish years. Yeah, that's it. That's me. That's where I came from.
What is software SCADA versus?
This is a lot to get into. My definition of what SCADA is has probably changed. It's for sure changed since I came here, and it's evolved since I was at my last company too. But my previous company, we made SCADA software, so doing controls for the things in the electrical grid is basically the most general way to say it. There's not really software here at EVS, but there's still the controls part of it, getting everything in your substations and your PV and BESS fields to talk to each other. I don't know. That's about as general I can put it right now.
What's the difference? Like, how's the transition from coming from the software heavy SCADA work and then coming to hardware stuff?
It's been a lot more like process to learn, I guess. There's a lot more different groups of people you have to communicate with here than if you're just kind of producing software and pumping out SCADA systems. You're really only communicating with the utility that you're making it for. Whereas here, there's like all our different departments. There's all the different players in the space, like the developers and the EPCs and the utilities, and there's a lot of different people here, a lot of different groups.
We can create a interdepartment SCADA communication system.
Ooh, yes. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that would
I
require
like it.
him revealing what he actually does here,
Yeah.
or something.
No, I'm pretty busy.
He's pretty busy. So let's break it down. Start at the top. What the heck? Is it that you do that we don't know? I mean, what is SCADA in the PV BESS renewable space?
Sure. So I think, so I was explaining this to some new hires on our team the other day. I think the best way to start it is everything in SCADA is virtual. Like, it's programming, it's communications, it's protocols. So everything kind of has to be an analogy, basically. That's how you have to start everything. There's I think and I talk in diagrams, I've realized after coming here. Because that's just, I don't know, it's like how you have to explain it because
Sure.
it's all just virtual. But you have to start with the analogy I like to use is if you're building a neighborhood, the first thing you have to do is lay out the streets and addresses. And then after that, you can actually build buildings and houses. So that's analogous to building a network with network switches, firewalls, routers, all of that stuff. These might be words that your IT department knows very well. Which, yes, IT engineers would be good entry SCADA engineers because there's a lot of overlap there.
Mm-hmm.
So like building that network so things can communicate with each other is the first step. And then after that, that's really when you get into more like specific protocol communication that's more like unique to the industry, I'd say. And those, like, then there's more devices on that to program of how they communicate with each other on top of that network. And that is like you're building a house in the neighborhood. Like your streets are laid out, your address is there, but then the way you can build a house or a building within a neighborhood is, there's just endless possibilities of how you do that. And that's where my expertise from my previous job would come over here, is how to design those different devices and how they're communicating with each other, like in the substation to the utility to the PV bus controls, all of that.
And SCADA is an acronym, so before we even go further,
Yeah,
we're
break that
saying
down.
like it's like this thing.
It's like
it's
this
in the
thing.
dictionary.
It's still a mystery for me. So what is
It's
like? Yeah,
It's most like the main words of it are control and data acquisition. So there's the controls going out and data coming in. The full acronym is supervisory, control, and data acquisition. So
I thought
both
it was
direction.
Security. Oh, I'm wrong.
No, but that is
I didn't look
important.
at the notes before the show. Supervisory.
Control
Controls
and data acquisition. Now you got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Well done,
and
Chris.
gets a letter in the acronym. That's not always the case.
Yeah, it's
the word
important.
and.
It carries a lot of weight there because it's both.
Big and.
Yeah.
Very big and.
Yeah.
So Jason, wind the clock back. This is where you are now. How did you get to be a SCADA person? You must have went to college,
Yes, I
done
did
something
once.
like that.
Yeah, I was a electrical engineer in college,
Mm-hmm.
but then after, honestly, I'm hardly an electrical engineer now. I'd say it's more like computer communications from my past career. It's basically what
I
it
always
was.
think electrical engineers can do everything, but anyway, keep going.
You're not going to suddenly join
Fair.
power studies team or the PV Invest
No,
team.
I do not understand any of that anymore. And when some of you guys talk about that in the meetings, like you get these memories of what we studied in college, but like it's not rehearsed. So like, yeah, I don't get any of that.
You don't have any analogy for that? No. Or we don't, I guess.
Maybe,
Think about it.
We'll get there.
We'll come
Yeah,
back to that. So you did your electrical degree, and then
Mm-hmm.
at St. Thomas,
Yep, that's
which
the one in St.
right
Paul.
by my house.
Mhm.
And then so this is just where things led you, or did you suddenly have this epiphany of like, I love SCADA?
Okay,
No, it was very much just where things led me. And it was like more computers and software than electrical engineer.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that. Like, so that's why I stayed there for so long, just getting into the whole software world.
And the trips to Columbia.
Yeah, yes, that was honestly, yes, big perk. Loved that
was
part of it
pretty
too.
good.
Yeah, it went very well. Learned a lot about, not just the like SCADA technical part of it, but we worked directly for utilities, like made them SCADA systems and software. So we got to see a lot of how the grid works and how they operate the grid. And those things are a lot more interesting to me, like macro level. How's the grid being overloaded? How do you need to plan maintenance for it? How do you operate it on a 5-second to 5-second schedule? Like all of those things that we saw the utilities do, that just really interests me.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Jason, talking about like when you're explaining the SCADA in the housing analogy, what came to my mind was more of like regulation and commission, right? Because I mean, if you're building a house, you just can't build it everywhere and anywhere. So how does that? How does commissioning and like regulation for SCADA works? Like
yeah, it's that in itself is a huge industry because it starts with FERC and NERC at the government level.
Whoa, what is
Yeah.
that? What are you talking about? We can't say those words on the podcast. I don't think.
Oh, so many acronyms. Yeah. Well,
Do you know what
FERC and NERC?
Yeah. Do you know what they stand for?
They're Federal
Energy
Regulatory Commission, yeah. And then NERC is the entity that they've like let make the rules for everybody.
Yeah.
They're separate, but everybody refers to them as the same thing kind of. But they make a bunch of the rules and regulations for it. It's honestly mostly around security. That's where most of the meat of it is.
Yeah.
Is like how these systems need to be secured because they're very powerful when you're talking about how they can just somebody at a computer can send controls to substations around the country just in a couple seconds. So
It sounds like a supervillain type
Yeah.
thing. Like,
It
we're
would
going
be-
to break into the substation.
it would be very bad if the supervillain got a hold of a utility SCADA system.
Yeah.
Yes, very bad.
Well, to all you supervillains out there, don't be touching the SCADA systems.
So if the security is breached, what are the what are the implications of that? Like, is it going to shut down the grid, or what's going to happen? I just want to understand.
Yeah,
that part.
there's been a few examples of this kind of recently, like in I think it was 2018 or 2019 in Ukraine. There was an attack on their energy grid.
Okay.
And yeah, they basically just took control, and I think they just opened a bunch of breakers, so like all their substations were not powering anything in the grid anymore. I don't know, there's probably a few other things I can think of, but not coming to mind right now. But like there was
the power outage in Spain. Not.
oh yeah,
But that might be not totally related here, or
yeah, that's not like nefarious or anything.
Oh,
that was
right.
Just things happened on
Yeah,
the grid.
yeah,
I
yeah.
could go into it more.
we'll
but,
we'll
like,
touch on that one later. Yeah.
yeah. But what fines these utilities can get from NERC and FERC? Yes, that happens every year. Like some of them are self-reported. Sometimes they are identified as just problems that they weren't in control of their substations for too long of a time. And yeah, they're fined millions of dollars for not being in control of your assets that are controlling the grid, because it is so serious if you're not able to control your substations that are powering everybody's homes and everything.
It sounds like a pretty big deal.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Those
If you-
utilities are important.
Is your next career going to be like a SCADA like attorney or something?
Oh God, no, never.
Sounds like
I've
there's
al-
some money in that.
Yes,
with
No,
the trip
I've-
to Colombia every weekend.
definitely learned over my career. I am not a lawyer. I'm very
Yeah.
much an engineer. Learn that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
nope, won't be doing that.
We'll
You
stick to
can
that.
you can go to that, Chris.
Well, so what about the like one thing I think that we talked about this not on air but like at a different time about specifically like transmission and interconnection. I feel like SCADA has a big role in that.
Well, yes, getting SCADA installed at your substations and PV farms. That's getting that data communicated up to a utility or to an ISO, or I should say ISO is an independent system operator, like ERCOT or PJM. They need all this data for all the generation around their grid, and yeah, that's what
do they do
SCADA
with it?
does. They maintain reliability and make sure everybody gets power and keep the lights on.
Sure.
It really is like a miracle that everybody in the country like has electricity at 99.99% of the time. Like, it's how many different
We're going to talk about
people
this in
and
an upcoming
systems.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It is a miracle.
It is. It's like I'm pretty sure the grid is the largest like man-made built machine, because it's just enormous and spans across the whole country,
Yeah.
and it's all interconnected. Yeah, it's wild. It is fascinating.
I've seen like these big screens. I don't know. I've seen it in movies, but where they can see where power is going,
For
coming
sure.
out, and stuff. Is it actually like that?
Yep, those are the SCADA systems that we made at my previous job.
Okay.
So like the software that goes behind that pulls all that data in,
Okay.
figuring out how to display it efficiently for all the operators to make decisions about how they're going to operate the grid. Like, we're seeing increased capacity on this line or this substation. So can we route power or share from somewhere else so then that line is not overloaded? And then just, I don't know, there's like millions of decisions like
Wow.
that.
So they're actually physically sitting there and doing
Yep.
like
A person is doing this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's machine aided,
Sure.
but at the end of the day, which I think is still a good thing at this point, there's
Yeah.
a person making those decisions of when to outage something or when to supply power somewhere.
That sounds like a big responsibility.
Yeah, it's a pretty secure job. Like some of those facilities of the bigger utilities, they're like, fingerprint, eye scan, background checks
wow.
for
Yeah.
your whole life. Like it's a high security job.
Huh.
And just to dive into SCADA a little more, could you break down like when we interface with SCADA, like what would that look like? And you can be like, okay, on the inverter side you have like an EMS. So there's so many acronyms, and how is everything tying back
Yeah.
to that ISO? If you
It's-
can start from that low point and then
Yeah, like I'd say they're all like smart devices. You can just think of it like that in general. They're all smart devices that are on a network, and they can all communicate with each other. And yeah, at the lowest level, it'd be your your
Inverters.
battery storage or
Okay.
inverters, the things that are producing producing the energy. Those connect through the network that you built. They connect into like I'd say a local SCADA system, like a battery management system or an EMS there.
Okay. And that's housed what in the substation or typically the
It's
substation?
both. There's
Okay.
smart devices within the substation for like controls and protection, and then there's the devices like inverters and weather stations in the PV or BESS field. And all of those devices have a lot of pieces of data on them that all need to be collected and communicated to utility, your owner that's actually controlling it, eventually up to the ISO. But yeah, there's thousands and thousands of points at all of these substations and renewable energy fields, and yeah, I don't know, they just communicate up the
keep
chain,
going
up the
up.
chain. Yeah.
Is everything in one program? That's kind of like from your last job? Is like this? You made a piece of software that takes all the inputs and sends it
No,
to
there's
where they need to go.
There's a lot of different applications. What helps me come over to this job was the communications part of it, where like how you're literally communicating data back into your device or
Yeah.
into your SCADA system where you're analyzing everything. But like all the applications that run on those SCADA systems, that's beyond the communications. Once you have the data in, there's how do you analyze it? How do you like alert operators that there are problems? How do you maintain your databases that you need to like have accurate limits for things? How do you store the data so in 6 years you can look back and see on a Monday how much load should we be forecasting for this Monday now, so we can plan our generation assets accordingly.
Nice. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that help?
Yeah, that gives a good breakdown because
I
a lot
kind
of times
of get it.
Yeah, because now I know why I'm drawing all those fiber lines. And I'm like,
Yes,
Yeah.
do I
lots
need those
of
fiber lines?
It makes sense now.
Makes sense.
It's going into Jason's personal data aggregation,
aggregation.
Monday through Friday.
There
Yes.
you go. Yeah. So Jason, you said this bunch of smart devices, and that kind of got me questioning, like how is the AI helping in the SCADA world right now, and compared to before?
Yeah, there's always automation, or not always, but like there's always been software that's been running the grid.
Right.
At one point, I don't know, like back in the 60s or 70s or something, I guess, like before kind of SCADA networking existed, I'm pretty sure that they just called someone at the substation and said, hey, you should open that breaker so you're isolated from the grid.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Well, he's just living next to the
they had people, yeah, maybe
Waiting
it's
for the
just
phone to
yeah,
ring.
it's like,
Oh, the phone rang! Ah!
like you've heard stories about people living at lighthouses that kind of did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
Wasn't
kind
there
of
a whole
similar.
thing about like people who mans, the lighthouse, they went insane, basically?
Because they didn't see anybody.
Yeah,
for,
they were just
for
at the
months.
lighthouse
Yeah,
for
yeah.
months on end, and then they lost their mind. Is there a similar? Is a grid operator?
That's-
Are you?
that's what I'm
mentally
turning
well
into,
right now?
Oh, I might turn into that person here at Chris.
Well, okay. Yeah. What were we talking about again? Something. I don't know.
Integration of AI. with
Yes.
that.
Yes. What
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
so we should go into AI. Yeah, so there's been software that's controlled it, like I'd say automated human interaction. Like if you can't just have a human look at 100,000 pieces of data that are coming into your system.
Yeah.
So being able to use software to, I don't know, like summarize or alert of the things that are very important that you need to take action on. That's not really AI, but it's software already. That's already performing some tasks. Like when an operator at their SCADA system saying click this button and open this breaker so this line is no longer overloaded, they've already trusted a lot of that decision to software already. Like, did I get the right data in? Is it displaying correctly for me? Do I believe it that something else shouldn't have been higher priority? Like, so there's already a lot of software built in there. AI, I think it'll further automate all of that going forward. It's like, I guess it's like frees up operators to make more important decisions. It can make some lower level decisions quicker, I think. But it's like what's making it more difficult now is that with all of these different generation sources everywhere, like we're building with PV and BESS, the operator no longer has to, like maybe I don't know, like a smaller utility would control 10 generation assets, and they call the 11th one and say we need some more power now to meet demand on the grid. Well, now it's like there's 3,000 like within their area. So having AI automate like the decisions of when to deploy those, yes, I think that's for sure going to happen into the future. But it'll be really difficult because with software there is testing and fixing and testing and fixing. You can't really make mistakes on the grid like that, like in other industries. Like if you have a photo sharing app online and it makes a mistake and you can't see a photo, like doesn't really matter. There's no implications for it. But if like AI was to make a decision where something was closed or open on the grid incorrectly, and now like people don't have power, or there are people at the substation working on it, like that's a very, very different situation. It's more serious. So like, I don't know, that'll be hard how that like grows into the future. It's a very unique industry in that way. Is you can't make mistakes like other software companies. You can kind of just, I don't know, throw it all out there, figure it out, make it better over time. Mistakes are okay. That's just not okay.
Just send an update.
Sorry about that. We're just gonna update it.
Yeah, like your app didn't open on your phone. Oh, we'll just send an update to your phone. It's fine. Like that. Yeah, that doesn't really fly.
But it seems like most of what the software is doing is help the operator come to a decision, or help them which seems like with all these assets coming online, 3,000, 4,000, whatever it is, that number is, like it's going to be so much more complex to crunch that data. And that's where AI is going to be able to talk, the models, the agents talk to themselves, and they come to a conclusion saying, hey, this is what I found. And it seems like the operator is still going to take that decision.
I mean, I would hope so. At some day, maybe not, like it's all perfectly automated and it can just make that decision for you. But yeah, I would say that's where I hope the industry is going. Better data for a human to make a decision at the end of it.
So is that kind of a segue then into the here and now of like, us working in PV and BESS? Obviously automation is a thing that's coming, but like, why, the question is why can't we just plug solar into the grid? I mean, and then other misconceptions about like why it's much more complicated to bring things online than you might think they are.
Yeah, another analogy time.
Here we go.
So like, let's say you had a city by a mountain and they just had all this fresh water up in the mountain that they're going to deliver to the city. Discovered that freshwater resource like 70 years ago. They built a pipe or whatever to get it down to the city. And then suddenly they said, oh, we actually just found 10 more freshwater sources up here. Can you guys just make that work? Like, well, I don't know. We kind of built the pipe 70 years ago and it's not big enough, and it's actually getting pretty old for just handle that one freshwater source right now. That's how it kind of works with all these new solar and PV stuff going online. So like the utilities, like sometimes their wires just aren't size big enough because they didn't plan to build things this big. Like most of the houses were built with 100 amp panels back in the day. Now, if you want to have like a EV charger or a stove or an electric dryer, like you kind of just need a 200 amp panel. And a lot of houses just don't have that. And it's the same kind of idea with utilities. So like we didn't build high enough voltage or megawatt substations to handle all the new demand that's coming onto the grid. So you can't just plug everything in and expect it all to work. There's like one of the utilities I remember I was talking to in California where they have a lot of electric vehicles. They said sometimes they're little like pole transformers that are on the transmission lines. They've blown up because imagine everybody on your block gets home at the same time, and at 5 o'clock you have 10 people plug in their AVs at the same time. We didn't size the system to handle that, so blows up.
Oh, is that why they recommend you charge from 10 p.m. to 6 and during the off peak or something?
Yeah, for sure. And that's also to meet or smooth out generation demand, as I should say it. Like actually in Texas, that phenomena happens. Like there's a very good example there where you can, one of the utilities in Texas was telling us that there's a lot of wind energy at night. Like the wind blows at night in Texas, I guess. but people need a lot of energy during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this or there's a lot of sun also in Texas during the day, but there's this gap from like 6 to 8 or so where the wind's not blowing yet, and the sun is kind of getting done shining.
Yeah.
So there's this like, and that's also when everybody's getting home from work. So like there's a huge demand at that point, but the generation sources are kind of like shutting down and getting lower. And that's why I think in our industry too, or like here at EVS, there's a lot of battery storage that wants to go into Texas because of that
Grid
phenomenon
stability.
right there.
Grid stability,
Right.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Now we have 2 hours of batteries that we can just deploy during
Yeah.
that time, because at night wind was free because nobody's using it. So
Yep.
let's just start. Yeah.
It's wild that wind, I mean, at least in Texas, it seems like it's blowing there in the evening. It kind of solves the renewable problem. Sun in
Yeah,
the morning,
it's perfect.
wind in the
Yeah.
evening. It seems perfect.
You
They've
get a
done it.
battery.
Texas has figured it out. Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
Their weather. I mean.
Yeah.
Earlier, we talked a little bit about the Spain, Portugal blackout. Maybe just give us a little bit of information on that.
Yeah, that's so in like the end of April this year, there's this blackout throughout all of Portugal and Spain and
That
a
was
little
2
bit in
years
France.
ago, wasn't it?
I think it was just
That was
this
just
last April.
2025?
Yeah. Wow. And it's they I don't know, they don't really know why it happened yet, like what the official cause of it was, but there was a bunch of generation that tripped offline in the south of Spain, and then that I don't know, like that kind of cascaded through the rest of the country. Like if you immediately lose generation sources here that are balancing your demand on the grid, that's a very hard problem for like the grid operators to solve, just like immediately make up a bunch of generation. And there's like a lot of solar and BESS and in Spain because it's a very sunny country. And this does make it more difficult for grid operators, because when you compare it to something like a nuclear plant, that's just always pumping out the same amount of gigawatts, the whole day. But when it's varying, like the sun or battery storage or wind, to be able to have operators balance that transmission, it makes it a lot harder for them. So they don't really know why it happened yet, but or why they tripped offline in the first place. I think later this month they're doing the final report release of it. But
There was a
study.
MotoGP event happening at this time, and I remember.
Really?
Yes. Well, it was
Interesting.
after, and they were like the journalists I follow were on their way like back home, and they were sitting at the train stop in Seville, I think it was, and that was it. No more train because there's no more power. So yeah, that was interesting timing on that. But
Some of the videos you saw, people loved it. They're just like, great, let's go dance.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's dance. So looking forward to the future of SCADA, what are some comments you have on that? What are you seeing moving forward?
So the whole electrical grid over the next 20 years is just going to be, it's just vastly changing. So like I was looking up something earlier today, like the last 20 years compared to the next 20 years, we'll be adding 10 times more generation to the grid, or there'll be 10 times more demand on the grid because of data centers, electric vehicles, just electrifying everything. So to ramp up generation 10x over the next 20 years, like there's going to be so much change with like how the grid operates and the different generation sources on it. So SCADA feeds into that because you have to communicate with all these devices. You're producing 10 times the amount of power, and it's probably like 1,000 times the amount of devices that you have to, or it's way more than 1,000.
Yeah.
Because when you start thinking about, like, some utilities have programs with, can we cut your water heater for these 10 minutes when it's peak load?
Yeah.
Or can you not charge your car during this half hour because it's the peak load?
Excel has something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going from like hundreds of the devices to like millions. So to be able to communicate with all that stuff it'd be a huge challenge for, I don't know, just like the industry communication SCADA wise.
It's crazy. I think I went to your university, St. Thomas, for just talk about technology with Dennis, and there was this professor giving a talk about power systems, and he basically talked about the 10x thing, and he was like, it's crazy. It just seems impossible almost. And then with there being a huge demand for just power system engineers, just within electrical, there is a demand for electrical, but within electrical for the power systems engineers, just this problem, just to try and solve this.
Yes, it's a good industry to be in.
Yeah, and St. Thomas they're building microgrids just to test things out, and
nice.
so it's pretty. But yeah, it was crazy to see him like break down the problem, and I was like, dude, this seems ridiculous.
Well, yeah, like it's getting 10 times more generation, but then it's like, thousands of times more devices to communicate. So there's two problems going with at the same time. It's not just you're solving one first and then going for the second. It's a huge thing to figure out for the industry the next 20 years.
Yeah. I know there's AI. Is there any hardware that you're looking out for in the future? Some technology advancement that can help you guys, or no?
I don't know. I'd say I'm more of a software person.
Guy.
I don't know enough about the hardware part of it.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, this is also like, I realize there's nobody else at EVS that's really been into the software side of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer that one. Hardware.
Semiconductors, maybe. I don't
Yeah. There you go.
What are those?
I went to a career fair, and a student asked me about SCADA.
Mm-hmm.
Just for any student that is watching this today, right? Can you just give them an advice on how they can because he was very interested in SCADA, but I wasn't able to explain to him SCADA.
But he, like us, had no idea what it was.
Perfect.
So,
why didn't you send them to me?
I promised him I'll find him the right answers. So
yeah, I would say like number one piece of advice is stay curious about everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you just learn everything in the industry. AI will definitely take over some software development jobs, but you can't. I don't know. Without learning how software and development works, like you can't be a good engineer in this kind of space. Like you just have to understand the concepts of it. Sure, AI will automate part of your jobs, but like you have to understand it at the basic level to be able to be a good engineer in the SCADA space.
There you got it. I told you I'll bring you the answers.
Tell him. Text him now.
Text him now. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today on the Sounds of Solar podcast. Do the thing. Jason, what is the thing that they should do?
Goodbye, everybody.
That's one way to close it. Like, share, subscribe.
Oh, like, share, subscribe. Yes, everybody.
There
If you're not
comment
yet.
and
goodbye.
reach out to Jason for SCADA questions. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
we'll see you next time on the Sounds of Solar podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Share with your industry friends. Peace. That's your line.
Peace.
Peace.